Welcome to the show. Glad you made it, let the good vibes go. Take a breath, let the stress all go. You're right on time. Welcome to the show. Every story, every step will grow. Stick around, let your true self go. It's me at heart. Welcome to the show.
Journalism media overall is struggling right now in Jamaica, and it's really sad. I think the place that we find ourselves in.
Hey soft hearts and searching soul, I'm Tamika, host of Meek at Heart. So if you're new to the show, you won't know, but we usually do a Meek thought. It's whatever is on my mind for this period. And lately I've been thinking a lot about surrender. So recently at church, the pastor asked that we come up with a character in the Bible that speaks to surrender. Most people said Mary, some people said Paul, some said Jesus, but I thought about Ruth. For me, Ruth made an ultimate sacrifice. She gave up her land, she gave up her beliefs just to follow her mother-in-law. A lot of people talk about Ruth and Boaz and they want to find their Boaz, but in my heart of hearts, I feel Boaz was an old, ugly man, and she would have made a big surrender just to be with Boaz. So for me, Ruth, the ultimate surrender. So that's my thoughts.
Oh, it's me at heart. Welcome to the show.
Giovanni Dennis is an award-winning investigative journalist and news anchor, widely regarded as one of the most impactful voices in the Caribbean media. Currently a managing editor for news and current affairs at CVM TV, Gio's work is defined by a commitment to social justice, environmental advocacy, and exposing systemic societal issues. Achieving scholar, Giovanni has over 14 years of experience in broadcast journalism, specializing in documentary making and high-stakes investigative reporting. He is known for work that elevates the voices of the vulnerable, focusing on social injustice and disability rights, climate change and the environment, public safety and accountability. He is one of the most decorated journalists of his generation, having garnered over 40 journalism awards across the Caribbean and Jamaica. Welcome, Gio.
I tell you that. Gio just worked. All that never necessary at all. Congratulations first to you on the publication of your book, and I will not leave today without a copy. I'm happy to be here, and I will be getting a signed copy of that book. So
of course. Thank you for coming. So first things first, Gio, 40 awards though? 40? Did you even imagine in all of your life just accomplishing these many awards in an area that not a lot of people have success in?
Not so many, to be honest, no. But I guess it just happened. It's just, I guess, divine timing. And I do believe there's a quote, I think, by Victor Hugo that says, there's no force so powerful in the world as an idea whose time has come. Mm-hmm. And I believe, there's this thing where Jamaicans say, when I hear a time, I just hear a time. And it has been my time, I guess, for the past decade in media. And I'm grateful for that, because really and truly, I think over time, I'll never come here and pretend to say, I'm never happy for win them, I'm never grateful, and coming into journalism, I never want to win an award, I never thought about becoming the journalist of the year. Of course I did, but the truth is, having won a few and, getting that, they mattered way less after a while, to be quite frank with you. And what mattered more, and what matters more now for me, is the impact of the work on people who I'm reporting on, people who are affected by issues. I know it's kind of cliche to say voice for the voiceless and speaking truth to power, but really and truly, when I can see your work kind of change people's lives, or somebody who did need help and you do a story, it highlight the situation and those people get help, then that for me is why I do journalism. I can think about a recent case where a young man who lost his 2-year-old daughter during the hurricane and also the daughter's mother during Hurricane Melissa. We highlighted his story in one of our programs on CVM TV, lead story in the aftermath of Hurricane Melissa. And so many hundreds of people reached out to him. He was overwhelmed, asking to delete this up because he didn't want more help. And then there was a lady who came just the other day from Philadelphia. She rounded up all her co-workers and they got money for him, and she came here and she wanted me to follow her to give him that money. I mean, of course, he asked not to have a follow-up story done because he just don't want the attention on him.
Was getting overwhelming.
And that never mattered to me. That once him get the help, we're good with that. And I think it's stories like that and, you know, situations like that where people get help that makes me feel better. I mean, nothing can bring back his daughter or his daughter's mother, but the fact that people wanted to help him and support him and just give him that kind of outpouring of love, you know, rate them thing. The same thing, I can think about another story, Kaylan Dowdy, a young lady who was beaten up by about 5 adult women in 2020. We highlighted her story. Doctors said she had a 1% chance, a less than 1% chance of living. And so many people came out afterwards to support her mother to help with the funding for her medical care. And she's now back alive and well. And, you know, it's stories like that that really make me say, yeah, at the right profession I choose and I like it. Nothing else.
So yes, the awards are there, but it's the impact of the work that you do that stands out most to you.
Really and truly, because what? The awards, yes, you have all these awards and what? You know, they're really just like trophies like when you go to school and you used to come first in a class or anything, but you can go buy them at shop. Like really and truly, you can go buy them on you know. Really and truly, they're just I've gone into them like literally I have a 3-year-old daughter right now who no run to lick them off at the dresser and drop them and chip them up and mash them up. Some of them mash up. I've given away some of them, a lot of them, you know. So and I don't get upset either. Like I'm happy when I see a scar and a chip on one of them and when she broke the glass on it and I say, okay, this show that I had a daughter who did this, and I'll remember this 10 years down the line when she get bigger.
And sure, you do this.
Yeah, it's the memory of it, but it's also what they represent, the physical awards, no matter. But when I look at each of them, to be honest, I remember the work that it took out of me to achieve it. And also, to be honest, for each of them, there's a feeling you get in the middle of writing a story that I know within myself way before anybody else knows. So, okay, you put work in this in a youth, and this is the kind of work where you need to put in the other kind of story than what you do for it to have any kind of impact. Because there's like a barrier that you're reaching for. There's this bar, I believe, in terms of the level of research that you put into a story, in terms of the effort that you put in writing it, the care that you put in writing it as well, and also getting good people to interview, getting the right interviews for that story to make that story be as impactful as it can be, because every story can be very impactful. It's how the kind of effort that you put into it, and I always put effort in. It doesn't matter how simple the story is. It really doesn't matter. Anything we may do, I put my heart, my soul, and my foot bottom, my night, or something.
And foot bottom.
Yeah, man.
You know, you're talking about the stories you've done, and you've done many. But for you, which one would you say stands out the most in your mind? 14 years, I know it's a lot, but the one that I don't know why it would stand out. It could probably be because you're proud of this work in particular, or the impact of the work, or because of the situation surrounding the work.
There are many. It's hard to pick one.
I realize that your face is saying.
Yeah, because it's not the first time I've been asked that question, and I genuinely can't pick one. I appreciate, because as I said to you, everything I do, I put my heart in it. My mantra, my life's mantra is a quote from Buddha, which says, wherever you go, go with all your heart. I have adapted it to say, wherever I go with all my heart. So everything I do, I always have with all my heart. Any hashtag when I post, even after I win the award and everything, I say thanks.
I love that.
I always have with all my
Oh, I
heart.
love that.
And I mean it. So every story, I love them, but I can think about significant ones over each period and why they meant a lot to me. I'll tell you about 6 or 5.
Oh,
Quickly. The very first documentary I did was at CARIMAC. It was the top documentary that year. It was called Lessons for the Teacher. Vybz Kartel's impact on youth, on the youth. And it was significant to me because I was so nervous about doing it. I never wanted to do it. I didn't think it could be a documentary topic. Obviously, I'm the first documentary this I will know. And big up to my lecturer, Ellington. She said, who's like a mother to me, by the way, even to this day. She was like, because I was discouraged from doing the thing. One of my classmates said, oh, I did that documentary last year, you don't need to do it again this year. Like I already did a documentary on Kartel. So I was like, oh, okay, no problem. And I said it to Miss. I did tell her some other topic that I thought was more newsy, because I don't see myself as a news person, to be honest, which is a little ironic. And she was like, do you really want to do that? And I like, no, this. She said, what you want to do? I want to do something on Vybz Kartel and his impact on the youth, because me, in my mind, I'm an educated youth. I was in the final year of university at the time, and I found myself being influenced by this man. You know, you know, look
so
at
you're using your own personal.
Yes, because for me to do good work, you really have to be immersed in the thing, I think, and especially things that affect you in some ways. And I'll share another story about that as well. You put more in it than if you weren't impacted in any way by that thing. And so that first documentary for me, I think, was massive. And it got airplayed like on national radio as a student documentary multiple times over the years. And obviously everything that happened with him subsequently, being imprisoned and everything, it gained relevance. And Simpson-Miller played it several times on her radio program over the years, like multiple times on News 93 FM. So as a student doing that and seeing the reactions to it, watching people react to it, the moments where I edit the audio and play with the audio, that for me was very pleasing, and that will always have a special place in my heart. Thereafter, the first documentary I did when I was employed at the RJR Gleno Group in 2016.
Before you get to that, was that what opened the gate for you into media, directly into media? Having done that documentary and the amount of popularity behind it that pushed you into mainstream media? Because that's not easy to get into.
I don't know. I was working already at the time as a student journalist at Newstart 93 FM.
Oh, okay.
And even after the documentary, I continued to be at Newstart. But then, I guess, yes, in a sense, because I would be called to speak as a kind of dancehall voice, having done a documentary on this now. So, I guess in a sense, but not really, but in a sense, in 2016, I went to RJ. I became the producer for Beyond the Headlines. And, Freda Day and Simpson-Miller, very intimidating. She's short, But the one is so intimidating. To this day, I'm afraid of the one. I don't know how. But I remember her saying to me, don't make any suggestions. Just try to understand the program and learn the program. Then, because a lot of people come with ideas and feel like they know it all now, and so I was like, okay, cool, but I'm stubborn. So I would still do things, even though just enough for it and just follow instructions. I would say a topic, and in my mind, I said, okay, I think we can enhance the program by including this bit of audio here, a vox pop, for example, a short feature. Or, there's something else to kind of enhance the program. And I would always do it, but not impose it in a sense, but just do it. So if you want it, it's there for you to do. And I can remember the day where, her attitude towards me changed. And she always serious about this. Like this one day now, she couldn't hold it and she smiled. Because I had an idea.
My smile, you couldn't
Yes, serious. She never used to like when I done. She said,
oh my God.
She said I was too happy.
You were too happy?
We come work every day and I say hi to everybody afternoon. And she couldn't bother with me.
Simpson-Miller does not like happy people.
Not true. Because interestingly, she's very fun to be around outside of work. Very jovial, very playful. There's a video with her. I don't know.
It's because the smile too bright.
Probably. I don't know. But yes. Probably we said that publicly, but yeah. So having been there now and seeing her appreciating an idea that I had and saying after the program, good job. I said, all right, cool. Watch the style. And no, there was a discussion that a research had come out by UNICEF and they were speaking about bullying and the percentage of people bullied in high school in Jamaican schools. And I say, no, there's a documentary, there's a nice documentary idea. Just talk to students who have been bullied, 1, and 2, who are themselves bullies. And that took me about 6 months to do because, again, I like to immerse myself in the thing. I mean, I wasn't necessarily bullied per se in school, but, boy, we better than me at primary school and high school. I was trying to battle me already and we'll fight. Win some fight, lose some fight too. I remember one bully.
You lose more than your way.
No, I lose some, but I don't lose all many things. I remember punching out a bully in the belly in primary school. I was playing elastic where I played and come take up my elastic. Remember him named Pipe. My father was a taxi driver and come from South River.
Bad bully that's in a
Bad
pipe?
boy, him on Pipe. I look serious to but I have the look for gold to and everybody afraid of them because there was a group of them from Salt River. I was from Mitchelltown and we went to Mitchelltown Primary. And Pipe take up people marble and take other man elastic and Pipe come take up my elastic after school. And I say, Pipe, give me my elastic, please. I want my elastic. I beg you, give me back my elastic. Because as a beat it when I little boy I have elastic up here, And Pipe pick up my elastic and I screw up my face and my old man and I give Pipe 1 thump in my belly. And I was sorry afterwards because I saw him in pain. When I said, look at me, tell yourself, give me back my elastic.
Pipe bust.
I never after that. But yeah, so someone else said, but listen, fight and never mind him because them sorry for the youth of me, like even though I him take me something and provoke me. And so I had a personal, inkling about doing this documentary on bullying and it was well received. It was the first documentary I did having coming to mainstream media and that won an award at the PAJ the following year for Best Report on Children. Best Report on Children, it was also one of the stories that had me won news journalism that year.
Wow.
And it was the very first one. So obviously, me feel good. And I said, John, the first documentary I do at CARIMAC was the best one. The first one I do at when I was at the RJ Glina Group.
There's clearly something there.
So I say, youth, you have potential, And again, big up there and she support me through that process. Because it took long. It took me at least 6 months to do it and she was very supportive. And so that stood out to me that I told her, I tell her after the 6 months, I tell her 4 more quickly. I'm going to run through them now. So having done that, that was big for me. The first investigative report I did for TV, I'm a little confused. They were around about the same time. One on the Cornwall Regional Hospital, and it was what they had called noxious fumes at the time. I had gone down there speaking to some healthcare workers, and that again became, it blew up, and we say everything that happened with Cornwall Regional thereafter. And then one with UE 138 student living, about how expensive those halls were to live on for students, and people at the university kind of hitting out against the administration for kind of imposing these new halls and wanting to knock down the traditional halls which were cheaper. That lots of reaction as well to that one. The one that stood out, so I'll count that as 3. The fourth one, my first television documentary, Pothole Paradise. I wrote this one because I was personally affected. I had just bought my car.
Oh.
And a pothole bust the tire, bend up the rims, and I have to change the 4 tire upon the vehicle. And I'm vexed on that. The 4 of them I have to change. So yeah, I want for money that now. So I'm vexed, man. I'm going to have it.
Take it out from the documentary.
So I put my heart and soul in the documentary because, do better for the year because as them fix, because it was a pothole, we never expect for it because the road just fixed a couple months ago. So I drive normal now. Bam. And again, it happened to me that I didn't pothole mash up the tire, them I get it.
You have to do a part 2?
No, probably not. Maybe, but yeah, so that's special to me because of the reaction to that one. It won Best Investigative Report in Jamaica in 2018.
Wow.
And also Best Documentary on the Caribbean Media Awards. I appreciated that one. And I think the documentary that probably got the most reaction, not necessarily the best one I have done, but I guess because of the topic, was a documentary I did on Portia Simpson-Miller that was massive, I think, for me. And I appreciated that one. Girl from Woodhall, the story of Portia Simpson.
Yes. Once you say the names, it comes back to me very fresh.
Oh, you remember too? You watched them? Oh, that's nice. And I think probably as a report, the final one I'll say is probably this thing, Charlie Munt, a story called Development Disorder, looking at, I remember not wanting to do it because of who was involved and avoiding the thing for almost a year because it scared me, to be quite frankly. It was an apartment complex being built by the head of the NWC at the time. And
Who was?
Mark Barnett. It didn't matter who the person was, but he was just like, okay, this one is rough now. And I remember speaking to residents and they were concerned that the nature of the neighborhood was being changed and they were sure that the restrictive covenant was being breached. And I looked at it, take my time to try to understand because I needed to understand the specific breach that they kept speaking about, and I didn't understand about building approvals and them things, so I try read for understand and read the actual town and country planning order just to kind of understand it, and it took a while, about 2,000 pages, like a whole heap of page, this act now to try to understand which particular breach they might talk about. And the reaction to that I thought was also, important, because many people were saying, this is happening right across Kingston and right across the country in some spaces, where there are just breaches of the development order and the kind of improper developments taking place across the city. So that stood out to me as well. So in a long-winded way to answer your question, I can't pick one. I'll just leave you with those, and I can't pick anyone in the editing and pick. But I like those stories.
So you mentioned earlier your time at CARIMAC. And being myself a CARIMAC graduate.
Big up CARIMAC.
Yeah, big up. I know that's no easy feat. So what was that period like for you, and how did it help to shape the journalist that you are today? Or was it easy? Because maybe I'm done. I don't know.
I love journalism. So from the moment I was there writing stories on your beats each week in Dr. Cano James's class, I was getting 9 out of 10 and 8 out of 10 a week time because I love it. I love quiz as well, and there was this thing about current affairs, knowing what's happening. I love school transcripts from Niagara Primary School, so it was like a game for me to understand what's happening around, to go answer the questions in the class now and get it right. So I loved that, I enjoyed that part of it. So journalism, the specific courses about media and journalism, I wouldn't say they weren't easy, but they weren't stressful for me because I love what I do. There were the other courses that you have to know that were mandatory, that was a little bit,
Did you happen to come across Dr. Barnes?
Serene Barnes, right?
Yes.
Yes, she marked hard.
Yeah,
She marked, I did a course with her, I think 60 I get. She marked hard. And I thought I did well enough to get a decent A. Yes, she marks. I think I did one course with her or none, maybe not. Or maybe one, but I think I did. And what I remember of her is that she marks really hard. Very soft-spoken, nice lady, but just vicious with her grading.
I remember being in class and see Dr. Barnes smile and say, "That's a 0."
Yeah.
So
I remember.
I know that she has shaped somewhat CARIMAC's culture, and I had to do quite a few of her classes. So that's why I feel like it's kind of hard.
Yeah, man. No, man. CARIMAC, it wasn't easy. And me saying I loved what I do and enjoyed it at the time, no means that it easy. It wasn't easy. I just thought I love it. So once you love something, you never have to work a day in your life. So that's really what it was for me. Yeah.
So how did it shape you in terms of the journalist that you are today? Did it play a role?
It did. It really did. I remember a quote that Miss Ellington had up in her office. And this quote in Miss Ellington's office was by Olive Senior, and it says, "You don't practice until you get it right. You practice until you can't get it wrong." And that has stood out to me in terms of how much you prepare when you're doing anything at all. And I think that also influences why I put so much into what I do, because Miss Ellington marks really hard as well. Even though I did the best documentary, I didn't get the highest overall in the class. Miss Ellington marked me down because the CD never have this fancy writing on it at the time, and my writing, I'm right ugly. Miss Ellington marked me down for that, man. She no wrong. I mean, I did have a nice printing of it, but that came late. And so I had to submit the one in time to make sure, say, because if I submit the something 1 minute later and a 0, I get Miss Ellington to rump them way there.
Oh, she's the next Dr. Band.
Yeah, man. Miss Ellington is just in a class of her own. She's very strict when it comes on to media principles. Like, if you're on time, you're late, you have to reach early. So, yes, so I think that influenced me. She influenced me a lot, just in terms of the discipline, and she takes a lot of pride in what she does in teaching and in how we practice journalism and putting the effort into the craft, pronouncing words properly, putting the right stress on words, doing the right research, and thing, and just respecting the craft. If you have a half an hour worth of content to fill, make sure you have like 90 minutes worth of material. Like, have 3 times more than what you need, because anything can happen while you're on air. Like, it's that kind of approach. That's the school I'm coming from with Miss Ellington. And I think that influences me to this day in terms of how I go about doing what I'm doing. Yeah.
That's amazing. So you've said quite a bit about just your love and passion, but what do you hate most about your career?
It doesn't pay. Journalism in a pay no. Sorry. I'm sorry. You're there on TV and people feel like, say, yeah, man, you make it and you have money and
Yes, people
you have big journalists and blah, blah. No, journalism doesn't pay, no. And quite frankly, journalism, media overall is struggling right now in Jamaica, and it's really sad. I think the place that we find ourselves in, because we see Sportsmax recently closing down, Loop News closing down. There was an entity in Trinidad, I think the other day as well, that closed down, and media struggling. You see the RJ Glina Group for the past couple of years losing upwards of near $500 million in terms of their annual losses. So the media is struggling overall in Jamaica right across the board. And it's really unfortunate, because what happens is that the attrition rate is high. The most talented people leave the profession, not because they want to or they don't love journalism, but because they'll get more money being the PR manager, marketing manager, communications consultant or expert for some corporate entity or for government. That's really why most people are leaving journalism, and that's really, for me, it hurts me, because it's something I've contemplated as well. I mean, I've gone into management, no, not necessarily because I want to manage people, but quite frankly, so I can earn a little bit more, because I have expenses. I have, a family to take care of. I have 3 kids. I have 3 daughters who are very expensive. Every thing, So yeah, it doesn't pay. So that's one thing I don't like about the profession, to be honest. But yeah, that's the biggest thing I would say as a drawback. The other drawbacks, I think, come with the territory, in that you do some stories sometime and you upset some quarters, and you have to live with that in terms of being somebody who people dislikes. And it is, one of the quotes that I have taken onto me as well is that journalism is printing something that somebody somewhere does not want to be printed.
Wow.
And I have to now accept that really and truly, if I do my job really well, I'm going to upset some people. Depending on how many people are affected, it depends on the scope of the upset that I will face. And I have faced that. And I'm okay with that. But I don't see it necessarily. I mean, it is a drawback in the sense that the way how you live your life, it's not as easy if your word didn't kind of have that impact. And so that's not necessarily nice, because I'm not going to go anywhere everywhere, to be quite frank with you.
Yeah.
Because of the nature of the work I do. But it comes with the territory, I guess, and it is what it is. And yeah, watch it back in the streets.
So Gio, you mentioned your daughters just now, and I remember reading that you're a staunch disciplinarian.
They don't
Why
like that.
anybody think so? Are you really?
I think my daughters would think so. I know my eldest, she's going to be 15 this year.
Wow.
She can't bother with me sometimes because there are some things that they would like to do that I'm not necessarily fond of, certain kind of behaviors. They'd want to use social media. I'm not necessarily depend on that, so I will take her phone away and keep it if me catch her a hide and crane account and I try to use social because I'm afraid of what they're being exposed to, you know. And it's the same thing when they do and they speak a certain way. If me hear them answer them mother a particular way with no attitude and no way, what I do? Apologize, feet, let me no ramp with them kind of thing there. Because I'm a traditionalist in that way. I believe it's a picnic fear of manners. You know, my grandmother, bless her soul, buried Booth, and everybody from my church, one cried frankly, they always used to say, manners carry you through life, manners carry you anywhere in the world. I genuinely believe in that. You know, I think as a person, there are certain rooms and certain doors have been opened to me because I'm a pleasant person in terms of how I interact with people. I'm like that both myself and kids. For me, I don't like insolence or petulance, them kind of thing there. So I believe in respect. So to that end, sometimes they don't like me and I won't be the favorite parent or the favored parent at all. But in the end, at some point in the end, they'll thank me later. I think Drake have a song that says, thank me later. They'll thank me later. Because I think growing up now, my mother was a disciplinarian as well. And I'm grateful to her for that. Yes. Come mother around with me. Remember when me never do well in a class. Second form, I come 17. My average was about 61. This is somebody who's come first, the whole of primary school. My mother come catch me at game shop one day. Cause we go take the report, make another parent pick up the report for me. And my mother hand gently touched my neck back. I remember thinking I must want girls to touch me because the hand feels so nice, you know. I mean, I look back now, my sister and my mother turn. I could have dropped the hand dead, I dropped the hand dead, and I see my mother. And I get a piece of beating in a mapping because my mother never appreciated. One, say I deprived her of her usual thing, which is to come and pick up my report. And two, me da farm fool because I play cricket at the time and I try to prove myself as a cricketer now and never focus on work. Yes. And mother give me a proper beating. And it wasn't the beating that so much so got to me, it was what she said thereafter. She looked at me and she said, Swayze, because Swayze she called me after the actor Patrick Swayze. Oh. She's like, Swayze, you go shame my man, enough people will have for shame me now. You know, because she has two children, myself and my older sister, and she had us young, and you know, people badmouth her and thing, and so my mother always work hard. I watch my mother work 7 days a week, and I take that from her as well. And you know, she always have to kind of work for prove that we are not less than kind of thing. And that alone, when she said that, it kind of motivate me to kind of just stop farm fool and just kind of pick up about myself, and I've just not looked back since. And so I can't be any different with my children. I know it's a long-winded way to answer a question, but I saw me grow, really and truly. My mother was a disciplinarian. It kind of rub off for me too.
All right. So this is my final question for you, and it would be remiss because I know people like them. I said them. Chinaga ask him this.
All right.
You made a big jump. From TVJ, where you've grown, you've blossomed. What made you feel that it was a great move to move from TVJ to CVM as their managing editor?
It wasn't so much that I knew that it was a great move, but it was simply that it was a challenge. I always like a challenge. I always like a good David versus Goliath story. I went to Garvey Massey, which is not necessarily a traditional school in Clarendon. The big school in Clarendon at Glenmuir and Garvey and CC.
Oh, you better call Clarendon College.
Yeah, man, CC and big school, man. I'm big up CC, and that's what my father did go to.
Okay.
But when everybody from Garvey left to reach sixth form to go to Glenmuir and CC, I stayed because we didn't want to fight and prove. And we won debate when I was in sixth form, and I was a part of that team. I led the team to winning debate. We went to the third round in school science quiz. We did well in Altogether Sing that year and so many other things. And for
you
me,
were on the choir?
Yeah, man, I only put things. I up on the choir. Me the DJ and win award with my best
You're
friend.
so extra.
We play cricket that year that by the way and top score. So Edley Cup. So yeah, man.
No wonder you come 17. It's
true. It really is true. That's why I came 17. So yeah, it was a good because we were competing against Glenmere. It was a big deal for us when we defeated Glenmere in the national schools debate. What I say, little Garvey beat the big giants, Glenmere, and we went on to win that year. It's one of my happiest memories in high school. To this day, it's something them speak about and my picture print up down there and all them. So it's a big deal for me. It means a lot. We're coming to a place now, CVM has rich history. But over the years, it kind of, it faded away. And it was just an opportunity that was presented to me. I received a call, hey, we think you would fit well with us based on what you're doing, what you're achieving, and what you've achieved so far and what you've done to come and help us. We're building, we have a vision, and we're doing this thing. Obviously, it was a big deal to move away. I'm moving away from the biggest media house in the English-speaking Caribbean. It's not easy to do. I'm also walking away from being an anchor on the #1 newscast in the country. That's not lost on me. And people could be like, nobody know what CVM to pick up certain place again. We are the don't go there. There are people like, if I didn't tell you what I tell you, don't go there. You shouldn't go them this, them that, them turn out what. There were so many reasons why I shouldn't go. And I've gone there now since when? August, and it's now February. And we've done so much in the short space of time. A lot of people commended our election night coverage or coverage of the build-up to Hurricane Melissa. Thereafter, we were on air for I was on air for 9 hours in an entire day. Like 3 hours programming leading up to Hurricane Melissa, kind of just covering what's happening to update the country and also the diaspora. And immediately after the hurricane, going into the parishes are significantly affected. And a whole heap of people tell me, say, yo, we respect that, you can rate the work on I do. And all of a sudden again, CVM. I remember legitimate, I forgot him right name.
Safari Smith.
Big him up. He said something online, he said, nobody could tell me in the year of our Lord 2025 that CV would be out doing TVJ. Wow. And when we see him say that now, we say, yeah, give thanks.
And he has a lot of followers, so
But we know as well that a lot of people are just
supporting.
Appreciative of what we did, because it's a young team, it's a small team. A lot of employees who just leave high university, so we're really just a punch above your weight. Yeah, we're really a punch above our weight right now. And I have so many ideas that we want to implement. It has not been easy, and it will not be easy. I know it will not be easy. But I think it augurs well for media in Jamaica if we have good competition. If TVJ has good competition, it means it's good so viewers have option, And it's not to say, oh, you're not going to watch TVJ or you're not going to see good work and good journalists over there. Only for the people with the TVJ are colleagues of mine, former colleagues, people whom I respect highly. Top journalists, and I will never say anything bad about nobody at TVJ or any other media host, for example. Because in my mind, all of us are working to make our family proud and also working to inform the country and present the news to people. So it's not I go bono TVJ and bono the art. No, I will never ever do that, and nobody can get me to say nothing bad. But it's simply in my mind that competition is good, and to give people the options to see good work, not just on one network, but also the other. I think that's a good thing. It all goes right. It also pushes us to do better. Because if we see a wicked story, for example, where somebody at TVJ do, I'll give an example. Romar the Lion is a journalist whom I respect and I rate highly. And I say, that's something good more when I might report them work similarly and do something as good as that, if not better, or on that level, for example. So it was with that in mind, as well as the fact that I guess I also wanted a change, because there's so much and no more I could have done at that level where I was. And if the opportunity presented itself to lead a team and to earn a little bit more, I'm going to go around that as well.
Of course.
Yes, why not? And so far, so good. I mean, it's not to say me know say they go great. It's just I try something. It never must work out. But so far, so good. And I'll continue to do my best as we go forward as well, and to put good work out there to the people and to help my team members improve on what they're doing and to achieve all they want to do as journalists. So, yeah, it's good for the country, I think, is what I would say.
That's good. And I think that's a great note on which to end. But usually, as you know, I always have to play a game with my guest.
Okay.
And I know you're a very competitive person.
Right.
So we're going to play a game, and I'm going to give you 5 seconds in which to answer these different things that I have in store for you.
Okay.
So so you have 8 questions, and for everything that you answer under 5 seconds, you get a point.
Okay.
So are you ready? It's called the 5-second rule. And the first question, name 3 things.
I'm very competitive. You saw how disgusting I was in that quiz game.
You were very disgusted.
So, I'm not even pretending.
That is why I made this game for you.
Yeah, so I'm not pretending. I'm not putting on a character here, viewers, as some mistake. Come in.
All right. Name 3 things that can fit in your pocket.
My phone, my key, and the something I keep my money in, which is this.
You were 8 seconds.
8 seconds after? Yeah. My phone, my key, and something I keep my wallet in.
Sit here.
No, man, I start running. Start over. That's not... Okay, come on again.
All right.
Oh, God.
3 things you say when you're surprised.
Blow, Jano, and one next one I can say BBC.
5 seconds, 72.
No. Come again. I feel like you're rubbing time.
I'm not, I promise. All right, ready again? 3 words that sound disgusting but aren't.
Oblivious.
Oblivious? Oblivious sounds disgusting.
Oh God! The words in my mind that
sick.
sound disgusting, they actually are disgusting. But there's one that I don't think is disgusting. And that's BBC. I'm a big fan of Jamaican, what we call Jamaican curse words, because it's our culture, and in my mind, they're beautiful words, as Mutabaruka would say so, because it's how you express it. The one word make you and I can act out a movie right now, a good play, using just that word, and we could get the meanings each time we say it, just based on how we say it and the inflection and everything. I think Miss Faye Ellington did a play with just one word, sorry, and it was a full-on play with just one word. That's how I feel about BBC.
Probably you should do a documentary, The Power of One Word.
Yeah, man.
All right. So,
Okay,
besides...
I'm failing at this game, man. I'm sure.
You're 3 and you haven't gotten a point.
Okay.
Besides boobs, what are 3 different names for breast?
Titty.
Why did you look at mine?
I was looking at you. You know, say you have that preconception to say that. Because I'm looking at you as I've always done. And then all of a sudden, where... I mean, Jesus.
And did you say kitty?
I said titty.
Oh!
Come have the trio that I was talking about. One titty, or daddy titty. I mean, I'm saying that. Titty, mama.
You feel that too. So let's
So after
hope.
titty, what are the other? Breast, titty, what?
Melon,
Oh, I don't.
watermelon.
Watermelon. Okay, what again?
I don't know.
So you don't even know the trio I asked you that.
You're a journalist. You should know these things. All right.
There's no, it's not realistic. There's no intention for me to actually beat the 5 seconds. It's all right. Carry on.
You have 4 more to prove yourself.
Just 4 gone so far?
Yes. Name 3 people who've had the biggest influence on your life.
My mother, Faye Ellington, Dean Jackson Miller.
5.9. You still fail that. All right. But that was nice. That was very nice. What are 3 things you wish you owned but don't?
$1 billion investment fund. A massive house that can fit my entire family. And Life everlasting.
50
I know, we
seconds.
missed it 3 times there. I'm sorry.
Have 2 left. Please,
Oh, God.
please name 3 things that make you laugh.
Domino, cricket, football.
Your foolishness, that.
Because I have to make the 5 seconds. So, domino make me laugh. Domino make me laugh. Football make me laugh when Arsenal are top of the table right now, by the way. And Gunners winning this year, by the way. Haters. Mr. Manu will not let them watch out there because the man them beat you. And I swear, say, them win the whole league just because they beat Arsenal. What's the you know, so when side big slash a small side beat you and celebrate like they won the league. But yeah, man, Arsenal make me happy, especially this season.
And the last one that you said?
Say cricket.
Yeah.
Cricket, I'm happy to man. I have a young youth now when them Surya Vanchi where I lick some whole heap of runs and I'm talented youth. So
Me not give you that.
you see, you just you can't tell me what.
All right. 2 seconds. 2 seconds.
That
Good.
was a cover for every other thing.
The last one. Name 3 of your favorite interviews.
Meek at Heart with Tamika Hill, Simpson Sessions, and Deion Jackson-Miller. Be on the headlines.
6 seconds. But I'll give you that one because you said Mika.
I have to. Oh, I had to. I mean, I know you're just cancel the whole thing if I had not. Well, no, that's been fun.
But thank you, Gia, for coming. I appreciate you being here.
Appreciate it, Thank you so much. It has been fun.
Remember to like, comment, and subscribe so that you'll be the first to know when we post new content. And always remember, you can be the light that fights against the shadows.